Hi, Mark Sitt from Crocker Farm Auction. I'm here to discuss two outstanding Edgefield, South Carolina face vessels that will be selling in our March 25th auction. We can see that both of them share some similar traits, and perhaps most notable of those traits is the distinctive spout. You can see this tubular spout with the flange-like rim coming across the top, very distinctive form. They're also a little more rectilinear than a lot of Edgefield face jugs that you see. They form these cylinders, or kind of tapered cylinders with a sharp edge along the shoulder. These forms are so distinctive of the Miles Mill site in the Edgefield Stoneware tradition that we're able to attribute these face vessels to that pottery, circa 1870 to 1880. And that's one of the great things about face vessels of this particular type. While there's a lot of conjecture thrown out about when and where certain Edgefield face vessels were made, because there's only one sign example, and that's kind of a different thing than these. That one's signed Chandler Maker. There's a lot of different theories and conjecture and different ideas that are thrown about where these different things were made. Some from some decent archaeological evidence, but it's very difficult to tell exactly where any of them were made except for these. And the reason is because the form is so distinctive. We can match that up with simple jugs. Some even stamped South Carolina dispensary that bear this distinctive form that was produced at this site. So it's great that you're able to lock that down. And these are the only Edgefield face vessels that you can really concretely do that with. But other than this distinctive form, you can see there's some other similarities in the way the faces are constructed and the noses are constructed. The pinched bridge and flared nostrils, wide open mouth. The eyes and eyebrows have similarities. And the ears at this site lack the tragus that you would find on so many other Edgefield face vessels. There are two interesting things about the example to the left that I want to point out. One is it's a little bit smaller than a lot of the Miles Mills face jugs that you'll find. The height slightly smaller than a lot of them, but the capacity in general is smaller. You can see it has this great slender body style. Very narrow. You can see just how narrow this base is. The clay used for the eyes and teeth, not that bright white kaolin, but more of a buff color, a little bit lighter than the base clay. But either because this vase vessel was so small, or because the mouth was made so small, or perhaps maybe to indicate something a little bit different, the teeth were formed with a stylus just by pressing one row. So instead of having two rows of teeth, as in this example, and most other examples you'll see, you only have one group of vertical lines, either indicating clenched teeth or just one row of teeth. And so that makes this piece look a little less angry, a little less intense than a lot of the other face vessels that you'll see from this area. This example has this bold, squat form, this wide, thick-bodied form that's perhaps equally appealing. The teeth and eyes are painted gold. Whether that's an original treatment or whether it was done later, it's impossible to tell. I will say that the The delicacy of the painting suggests somebody that took some time doing it, so it may not have been a later child's art project or something like that, and possibly original to this piece. But you can see what's great about this is the one eye is pierced lower than the other. So this interesting googly-eyed asymmetrical face, very cool looking, very folky. And I've seen one other face vessel from the Miles Mills site. I believe it traveled in a face vessel exhibit, and I'm sure it's been published some places, that has a squinted eye and a wide eye. And again, that asymmetry is done on that piece. The asymmetrical attributes are clearly, intentionally done by the potter. So with this, it's hard to say exactly why it was done, but it's a very interesting treatment. When we look at Edgefield face vessels and judge them on their desirability, a large part of that is, how do we respond to the face? How do we emote when we see the face? Does the face have an expression that elicits some kind of response in us? And this has a great, highly expressive face. We're excited to offer both of these examples from the Miles Mills site in our March 25th auction.